Two experts in ICF.
Yeah.
Decades of experience. One podcast.
Yeah.
Two hosts with a lot to say.
Look, I cannot sit through a struggle. I gotta get up and hustle. I gotta push through the pain, cause really that's how you build muscle.
Welcome to the Build with ICF podcast with your hosts, Trevor Brown and Heather Herring Brown. Yep, they're a package deal. With over 20 years of ICF installation experience, Trevor can throw down some expertise on sales, marketing, and training. On the other side of the table sits Heather, aka the girl boss, and she's earned the title as the owner of an award-winning ICF construction company, a drafting and design company specializing in ICF. And the numbers? With a master's in accounting, she does that too. Sleeves up, boots on. This is the Build with ICF podcast.
I don't want nothing for free. I'm here to work. I've been through the dirt. I've been through the dirt, yeah.
All right. Well, welcome back, everybody. This is episode 58?
58.
58, yeah.
Cruising along.
We're kind of slacking a little bit this year. We were looking at how many we did last year and how many this year, but this year's been crazy busy. So was last year.
It's a good thing.
Yeah.
Good thing it pays the bills.
Yeah.
Keeps the lights on, the power on, and the podcast going. And
but
all kinds of good stuff.
Yeah, here we sit in December and our grass is green because we don't have any snow right now.
Wild. Yeah.
So crazy.
We should have 2 feet of snow in our yard, and I can see the green right now.
Yeah,
at the golf course, so.
We could be waterproofing today. It's warm enough.
I know. We're well above waterproofing temperature now. So good segue. I like that. So we have
you gotta turn their mic up.
We have a part 2. I don't want them to talk yet, so turn the mic down. We have a part 2 coming here by popular demand. We've got we've got Brandon with Hulk and Nikki with Hulk because she gets a fresh introduction. I'm going to cheat and give her a little introduction there, but Hulk was on lucky episode 13.
Mm-hmm.
And came on here, crushed it. One of our most downloaded episodes. We did that was our waterproofing 101 episode, and it really got everybody kind of kicked off. And I mean, it's one of the hottest topics with ICF is how to waterproof it and what do you use to waterproof it.
It's one of the hottest topics, not just with ICF, with everything.
Yeah, 100%. And we've luckily, and this is what's great to have Brandon talk about is we're not just talking about waterproofing just ICF structures today, even though that's the majority of our group. But hopefully we get some listeners that are just waterproof nerds instead of just ICF nerds on here. So anyways, Brandon, thanks for coming on today and bringing Nikki. I actually thank you more for bringing Nikki. We're more appreciative of that. But
we're a package deal now too.
You guys are the waterproofing. Yeah, you're the waterproofing version of me and Heather now.
Yeah. And you know what? You guys
used to live up to, but we'll try.
You guys can borrow some snow from up here if you want some. We got a foot of it. So
there, you guys are sitting in Calgary, Alberta. So you guys are a little more north of us. So yeah, I always talk about how far north we are to everybody for our listeners, and you guys got us whooped. So you're a little further up there than we are. But
a lot more north yet too.
Yeah, no kidding. So yeah, it's been a great relationship with you guys. We started using Hulk, guys. It's been 4 years ago now. However long it's been, I guess I should have looked. But we just have absolutely loved the product, and I've always told people I don't sell anything, and I don't promote anything that I don't believe in, and I don't get involved with companies that I don't I can't get behind, and Hulk was one of those from the beginning that I said as owning a company that our innovative suite of companies, everything we have has the word innovative in it. One of the most innovative building products I've seen, and I'm not even going to just say in the ICF world, just in the building industry, I've seen in a really, really long time. So I'm going to play, dumb here with the people. If you haven't seen the product of what it is, maybe Brandon, give us a little bit of just the basic of Hulk 1, starting with the basic product that most people are used to seeing, and tell us what it is.
Sure. Yeah. No, our core system for ICF is our foundation waterproofing. Basically, you got a joint mastic for any penetrations and joints or cold joints, and then you coat your wall with the coating, immerse a fabric, and then coat over the fabric. So I always say you're making a fabric sandwich between the two coats. What that is, it creates a composite material that is just a far more durable. It's got far higher tensile strength, abrasion resistance, impact resistance than if it was just a standalone coating or a sheet membrane or a plastic membrane for that matter. It dries kind of like a hard tire rubber. I always liken it to a cast, like you put a cast around your arm, you put it around your foundation.
Mhm. It's really what makes you guys different. I mean, and I will translate for the American people, the Canadian to American. He says composite, we say composite. So if you're wondering what a composite is, it's a composite. It's and they wonder what a composite is. It's anyway. So if you're south of the border listening to this, when he says composite, it's composite. But and that's what makes it different. This is the fact that it is and I've been in several battles on Facebook groups with people saying it's just like nothing else out there. So there's nothing, and what does that difference is that what we call SRT, or the textile that is placed in between it. The fact that it's a liquid and then the textile and then a liquid is really probably the biggest thing that makes it different, right? That's the fact that it's different. And when we say a textile, it's hard to not, when you're audibly listening to this to show you, but we're not talking about like what we usually see looks like a screen door mesh or something that, they put into stucco or whatever. This is not a fiber mesh you can see through. This is almost, it's as thick as almost like a throw blanket that you have on your couch or something. It's very silky.
A lot of times I always refer to it as a blanket. I'm like, you could wrap yourself up in it.
It looks cozy. It looks cozy. A little itchy, but cozy, but it's very shiny, silky, thick, heavy. Trust me, when you carry a big piece of it, it's pretty heavy, but it's the quartz infused fiberglass. It's what makes this thing what you guys are kind of famous for is the smash test, right? The smash videos on YouTube and stuff that are viral with people. You got your guys out there with the framing hammers trying to smash holes in it, and they can't smash holes in it. That's what makes a lot of what you guys do different. It's just super, super cool.
Absolutely. Yeah, no, that has been the showpiece and the shining marketing example at every trade show we go to, every customer we interact with is the proof's in the pudding. When you hand somebody a hammer and you say, I'm confident enough that we go ahead and beat the heck out of it.
Right. Take out your aggressions.
$50 bill.
Yeah, we put a 50 up on the table and say it's yours if you can get through it, and we'd still have that 50. So.
Yeah, it's a fun, and it's just fun thing to take your aggression out sometimes when you're at a trade show. But it's fun to watch people that really get behind that. But that's kind of the basic concept of how Hulk has come about. And one of the really cool things that I like about it too that makes sense to people, we get called a lot now that we've been in the quote unquote waterproofing game. Now we're considered waterproofers, which I never was in that game before. I was the ICF guy. And then we've got called from people that are, I guess you'd say, forensic, investigator guys that are going in on insurance claims for water in basements and stuff. And I've got to talk to a few of them, and they've clearly said that the one thing you can guarantee that a house is going to move, like that footing, foundation and footing are going to separate at some time. There's going to be movement between them. And that's a lot of times where the water is going to creep on through. And one thing with Hulk is that it's got so much elasticity to it. It can stretch and move. So if there is a little bit of movement there, you don't lose your waterproofing seal. You're actually it stretches a little bit. And it's like some of those little stretch samples you guys have are great visuals for people to see where you can pull those things apart 2 inches sometimes, snap them back, and by the end of the conversation, it's back in a little 2x2 square again. It's pretty amazing.
Yeah, it's a self-healing coating, and it dries pretty hard for an acrylic. So there's two really unique things about it. It's a watertight acrylic, which usually the waterproofing you see out there is going to be silicone-based, rubber-based, bituminous-based, which doesn't do well in UV. And then, like you mentioned, that SRT, the woven fabric, we had that custom made, and it took probably a year to get the weave and the size and the so that it didn't shed. You don't get itchy from it. So it is a thing that's proprietary to Hulk, and that system. If you get a slip in your concrete foundation, say, and you've got a half-inch crack that's going to want to go vertically up and down that wall. That banding, that composite waterproofing or wrap, it's often referred to as wrap. That wrap is going to hold that crack, and it's not going to transfer through and through the textile.
That's a good point.
Yeah,
It holds it together. It's like
So-
duct taping it together.
it is. Yeah, it's like pre-putting on the duct tape before something breaks.
It's the duct tape and baling twine for the waterproofing industry.
See, that's what I love about you Western Canadians. You guys are just as redneck as us out west here in the U.S. too. I mean, it's like because are just the same. So, no, I think that's awesome. I really want this episode to be a lot about. I mean, if you really want to learn a lot about the basics of Hulk, obviously go back to listen to episode 13. It talks about the basics. Go to their YouTube channel, go to hulksystems.com and look at it. Yeah, I mean, you can find so much information about that. I really want to get into more, what your guys' plan for the future is for Hulk and kind of your distribution and stuff like that, but how much you've grown. I do have a couple little basic questions I wrote down just because this has come up with me on several situations lately. So I mean, like I said, I talk about how much I believe in a product and I've got behind this in so many different ways of us selling it, using it, and now even repping for you guys in different areas and trying to spread the word to other guys like me out there for Hulk and a bigger area or bigger region, in some ways all over the country. And the one thing I talk to people all the time, and there's a couple different things that come up, is stuff that's right on the can, right on the, it's amazing. You guys have a great bucket, which is a weird compliment to give somebody, but you have a great bucket. Oh. Yeah. Nikki will take it. She's like, it's 5 gallon bucket.
Your packaging ain't so bad yourself.
Yeah. It says so many things on it that people like actually read. It's crazy. Like, and they're like, oh, it says fireproof on it. Oh, it says, it says fire rated. Oh, it says, the eco-friendly green. Like someone made the comment that it doesn't have like I think even you might have said it doesn't have the dead fish, cross sign on it, because it kills fish if it gets in the water kind of deal. So can you touch a little bit on because we were doing a job with the Idaho Department of Transportation, and Hulk passed because of the eco-friendliness of it, with other waterproofings didn't. So they were just needing to coat some concrete. So maybe touch on the eco-friendly side of it, and then touch a little bit on the fire rating side of it.
Yeah, sure. Well, with the core products and most of our products, we try and achieve this. So on that acrylic product, it's almost zero VOCs, which are volatile organic compounds. It's what leaches off of a product over time, and that would be a pollutant. Zero HAPs, so hazardous airborne pollutants, are emissions that either come off the product while it's curing or while it's being sprayed, and there's no harmful byproduct there either. Staying within these environmental tolerances, that's why that was another thing we wanted to get out ahead of and kind of pioneer, is making these products that are interacting with your garden bed beside your house, and your kids and your environment, making them that not cancer causing, not harmful to aquatic life, not harmful to, relatively food safe if you're growing your carrots right beside your foundation. We've wanted to be on the forefront of that. So with the entirety of the product line, if it is a water-based, polymer-based, it is going to be pretty well zero. If it's a solvent-based, it's going to also be very close to zero in terms of byproduct that it's giving off. And it will be, we don't thin anything because we're working with foam primarily. So we don't have any solvents in there to dilute our product. So everything you get is 100% solids, meaning what the thickness in those products that you put on the wall is the dry film thickness that you get when it cures. So we're always trying to set standards and be far ahead of tolerances in the toughest states. Like we use Florida and California as our benchmark for those things. If we can get accepted and approved by engineers there, as far as being approved for LEEDs credits, stuff like that, then that's the direction we want to go, and we'll always go there. That's a core value of Hulk.
That's awesome.
And then on that product, I'm going to touch on that. That'll be close to the end. I want to take the conversation into the fireproofing realm, but for this product, it's fire resistant. Okay, so for coating, generally, you've got a couple categories. You've got something called intumescent coatings, which I don't know if you guys have ever seen them. They kind of look like they turn into tin foil. So when they start on fire, they keep self-igniting and kind of bubble on the surface,
Mhm.
and it keeps the flame from the substrate that's underneath it. And they're usually very thin layers. Fire-resistant coatings come in different classifications. Class A, B, C. Get class A, you have to be under 50. 0 is the goal, but nothing has 0. And the two categories you're rated in is smoke density, which is the black smoke, the byproduct that comes off of it when it burns. That's a telltale sign if you've got an environmentally sound product, burn it.
Yeah.
And so we have a 5. And I think the scale goes up to 500. We're at 5, and 0 is the best. Flame spread, how will it self-ignite if amber lands on it, and at what rate? We're at a 10. So it doesn't self-ignite. There's non-combustible coatings, which are usually cement-based. Doesn't mean they won't burn. It just means that they're not going to ignite. They'll char up and degrade. And then there's fireproof coatings, which I want to talk about later.
Yeah, we'll get into that. I'll stop you now, just in case anyone didn't realize, like, that Brandon's a coatings nerd. So he could just sit here and talk coatings and codes and things and all kinds of stuff all day if we let him. So we got to stop him. But very environmentally safe. I do want to say clearly that you shouldn't drink it.
No,
Like,
don't do that.
You shouldn't drink it. No, do shots of it. Don't do that.
But one cool thing, and Brandon, I don't know if you guys even know this. You may. So, with the drafting company, we draw a lot of, and it's gotten very popular this year, a lot of unfinished basements. And the jurisdictions don't allow for the foam to be exposed in those unfinished basements. So we did get approval in like 3 different jurisdictions. And so it's just kind of been spreading. We've been calling it out on all of our unfinished basements now. But the Hulk coating on the ICF for the unfinished basements is an approved method to cover it. So you don't have to put drywall, which will be super expensive just to hang it up so that you're going to take it down when you finish it later. But the Hulk coating was approved for those jurisdictions and to cover the ICF in those unfinished basements.
That's amazing. Yeah, that's an exciting part of the adventure right now. It's just getting more into the CSI master format specs and driving them with the engineers and architects. We're going to be working on I think they're called BMI images. You would probably know more about that, the 3D model images for the different softwares. So that'll be a endeavor this year.
It's a constant educational process.
Yeah, well, and once you get in there, like that's just an easy thing. When you start getting spec'd in those, you'll just see super scaling and growth. It's pretty awesome. So speaking of scaling and growth, why don't we hear what you guys got going on? There's so much new stuff going on at Hulk, and new folks and new people from the last podcast sitting here. And so why don't you guys tell us a little bit about what's going on with Hulk and what you're moving towards, what you got going on?
So I mean, we brought on Nikki. And really, that's I kind of be happy that I've got her on the team. She's our CFO, but she helped me strip apart our old model, rebuild the company, and with a lot of help from you guys too, actually, and a lot of direction. But of a distributor model that we've adopted that we're really excited about and excited to tell you guys about, the community about. So I'll let Nikki actually go through that.
Yeah, we often get lots of questions why we're not more like the ICF community where everybody's a distributor, everybody's a dealer. We've actually more taken the model that's closer to a true coatings company and how coatings get distributed. So what we've got set up, I'll just kind of give you a quick rundown of what our model kind of looks like now and what we're looking for moving forward. So right now we have several regional distributors set up throughout Canada and the US that service multiple different states and provinces, which then go into our dealers and installer network. Right now, we are actually still looking for some distributors and we paused. What happened?
You're good. You're fine. Keep going. It's just say this, the backup's not recording, so we're all good. I got it recording.
Very good. And then we're actually still looking for some distributors in East Coast Canada, the Maritimes in Canada, and then Alaska and Hawaii. So if there's any, big companies that the keyword being distribute. So you're going to carry the products in your warehouses and then be able to distribute them out to other places. So you're not necessarily doing any installs. You're just moving the product along. Because one thing we've found is we've lost more jobs because we'll get a call saying, I'm backfilling tomorrow. I need the product today.
Right.
And we can't get it out to you. So we're trying to get more regional hubs across the country, both Canada and the US, just so that we don't run into that issue anymore, that it's, a moment's notice away. And then our next piece of the kind of the layer of the network is our dealers and installers. So what we're offering out is we're looking for Hulk approved installers and dealers in every state and province across the country. And then what that comes with is, so our dealers will hold some inventory as well, similar to our distributors, but they're more like a retail store. So if you think like a Sherwin-Williams retail store is a dealer of Sherwin-Williams, they're not Sherwin-Williams, they're just one of their dealers. So something like that for the dealers. And then our installers will come out and do a training. We show you how to use the products, the systems, and then we also teach you how to sell the products. We have a great back-end support portal that we've spent the last 6 months setting up that's got all of our training documents in it. It's got all of our marketing materials. We have biweekly meetings with each of our dealer networks and our distributor networks. So we're communicating with the group a lot more than, that was one thing we heard, a lot of the feedback we were getting was, we need more communication. We need to know what you guys are up to, what you're doing. So that's something we've really focused in on, and something you get is becoming a Hulk dealer installer. Yeah, that's kind of where the network's going and building. And then, that's all I've got there.
And as somebody who's been involved in a lot of networks, and like I said, I've been involved with you guys now for a long time, for quite a while, and you guys have just done. I'm just proud of you guys. I don't know that it's my position to be proud of you guys, but I'm just proud of you guys to just see what it's done, and the system you guys have going on is going very, very well, and it's been, very impressive to see the change from beginning to end. I mean, because it's hard. I mean, anybody that's out there that started a business, and especially I can't imagine like a product that can, that deals with blending and chemicals and all the different stuff that you guys have to deal with, and then on top of that, scale a business and distribution model. It's not easy. So, kudos to you guys as being as a distributor, being involved in this and seeing how you guys are doing it. It really is top notch what you guys are doing right now. So you should be really proud of yourselves.
Thanks, Trevor. I mean, we owe it solely to the feedback that we're getting from the community. We're trying to build a family here that's with the same directive as a lot of the companies we talk to, which is to better the ICF industry. But further than that, because our products extend further than that, it's to protect structures and protect people from disaster and the elements. So, and we're all on that same page, and if we're all behind that message, it becomes easier to work together and easier to communicate. So we're really welcoming anybody that wants to join the team. Is come on board and
get involved.
Trevor, contact us. Yeah, get involved. Go on we have a bunch of contact pages there on the sites and in forums. I don't know if did you mention manufacturers there?
I didn't know that was going to leave that one for you.
Yeah, so and that's another little thing I wanted to drop. Nikki hit the ICF on the Hulk there when she said that availability is a big thing, that when you're a business and people are starting to want your product, you get some market penetration. Well, now how do they get it? So on top of everything, we're if we're not talking to you guys as manufacturers, if there's manufacturers listening out there, we'd love to be, because there's this kind of myth rumor that we've heard before that it's you got to have this really expensive equipment to get on with Hulk, or as a manufacturer, you're going to have to pay a huge premium, and manufacturers will onboard you as a distributor tomorrow and set up a whole support network on Basecamp for your dealer network. We just want to educate your dealers, empower them to sell some Hulk and better protect your block.
Yeah.
So, and the other thing about the equipment, Hulk, all the basic systems are stucco, our pools, our foundation system. Yeah, you can buy a regular airless sprayer, and it's not going to break the bank, but you can do all this stuff with trowels, rollers, paint brushes. There's not a huge capital investment on the equipment side to get started. I know that it might be a slight bump up in equipment from the pocket knife that you used to need to do peel and stick,
Right.
but you might have had the roller to put the primer on the wall, right? And so it's not that much of an advancement. And if you're already doing other coating or other waterproofing, you've got what you need. So
Well, and to
don't
speak as
let
a
that deter you from
as
coming on board.
yeah, and to speak as an ICF guy, like, I mean, talking to the ICF folks out there, that, you know, the big selling point, and I've said this on multiple episodes, they've heard this, but like, you know, we spray on most of ours. I mean, the smaller jobs will roll on, but we spray on, but we purchase it in concrete gray. So for us, our big selling point is every ICF guy knows, yeah, you can put peel and stick on, but you're not leaving peel and stick hanging out under your siding between your grading and your siding. You're still going to have to come in with something that's going to cost you money and time, and to put something on there to cover that, the grade, the area between your, you know, the belly band, I like to call it, between your siding or your stucco and the ground. So the fact that we can do it all in one, you know, fail swoop, we basically, my parge coating goes from under my siding all the way down over my footer. So I don't, you know, that's one of the big advantages to us is it's a one-step system. So we do save some money and time doing it that way, because of the fact that we spray it on in gray, you know, so it looks like concrete. And I think every ICF manufacturer out there, you know, you want to protect the structure. You know, they went to a lot of trouble to use your ICF product. You know, you want to make sure you're offering them the best possible product you can to keep the water out of that house, because the ICF is awesome, but the ICF isn't going to stop the water from coming in the house. It needs a coating of some kind, and I think most people out there are using, you know, a peel and stick for most cases, and maybe a dimple board, but they're just, I just am convinced there's nothing better to put on it than that Hulk system. So yeah, I think it's, and most of you manufacturers know me, feel free to reach out. We've had conversations before, and you can always call me again if you want, you know, off air to talk about, you know, what I think it can do for your different, you know, dealers out there. And it's just a good way to get hooked up.
We went to a project where I don't want to bash a specific brand, but it was a peel and stick job where the fellow was so happy with how the peel and stick went, because it's actually stuck, and he got it backfilled and tapped, and water issues. And so we saw the photos of when it dug up, and you could tell all the different, he did it so proper. He did the different layers of gravel and tamped all the different levels, about 5 different levels, and tamped each one individually. Well, that tamping had done a horizontal tear.
Pushed it down
at every level. So you
Yeah.
got five horizontal tears going across the whole foundation. And that's just kind of an example of some of the issues we've come across that we hope to fix, right? Or at least better educate and offer some solutions to those kind of inherent problems.
When you guys have
Everything
pivoted
has its
so
place,
well,
but
like, you guys have taken feedback on certain things, like just today. Like, I mean, you learn something every day. Today I learned something. We, you know, had a call with you guys, and you showed us the new weaving, you know, and none of us that aren't, you know, coding nerds we wouldn't think about, changing the angle of the weave on the SRT material is going to make it not stretch as much and make it stronger and not fray as much, you know. So anybody that's out there that's listening that's used Hulk, you know, the fraying that can happen sometimes when you cut it with a dull knife or something and it gets kind of fuzzy, or the spider webs with it. Now there's just the fact that you guys are like, hey, let's change the angle of the weaving, you know, like, you guys are reacting to the feedback of what you're getting to make the product better all the time, when I thought it couldn't get any better. And now, I'm excited for the new rolls of textile. Which is weird.
Yeah,
but
we don't want anything to be just like, hey, this is, you know, V1 and now V2 is going to cost more because we improved it. No, we just want to improve that product, and so it'll evolve. And I'm a contractor myself. I was for years and years and years, and I was finicky, right? And so I understand. I understand when it's like, this gets annoying quick if the fabric was fraying a little bit on the sides, right?
Mhm.
You're catching it with your gloves because the coating's dry on your gloves. All I have to do is like experience that once, and that's a cool thing about Nikki. She'll be in the hole with me, right? She knows the product just as well as I do, because I was spilling it on her head because I was in a boom above her putting them.
Yeah. Go on Instagram. If you don't believe him, go on Instagram and you can see the videos.
There's one picture that's actually really funny. I'm in the bottom of the hole and he's on a boom and they're passing me the gun back and forth. And there's these two guys, two of the like installers, just like peering over, looking down at me in the hole. It's a really funny picture of them just like kind of looking like peeping toms a little bit.
Yeah. It's gonna work. Holy crow.
That's awesome.
They could have worked a little more. Yeah, no, and that's man, that's been so fun. Is just going out and getting to see all you guys and the jobs out there and all the different projects that are done. There's such cool projects done in ICF. There's such creativity with these build systems too, and then going and seeing how it's done differently slightly in every location. I mean, you've been doing that for a long time, Trevor. You know fully about it, but it's a newish community for me. I was building ICF in Calgary 18 years ago, 20 years ago, but I wasn't traveling around getting to see how people do it all over. I got to really know intimately the different block types. So it's been such a joy to be part of this community.
On the ground and going and seeing and meeting everybody like we have been over the last couple of years has really helped us to be able to make those improvements that we've been making in not even just like the products themselves, but our communications and our network and how we deliver everything to everybody. So it's really been like super beneficial for us to meet everybody to then apply all the things we're learning to make it better for everybody else moving forward as well.
Have you guys kept track of how many miles you guys have covered over the last couple of years? Because I just watching Instagram and trying to get hold of you guys sometimes, like find out you're like, oh, sorry, we're going over a mountain pass in Colorado. I'm like, what are you doing in Colorado? Then you're like, oh, we're in Wisconsin, and then it's like, okay, we're in Nevada. And you're like, oh, Jesus, have you guys like kept track of how many miles you've covered?
Well, I know that in 2024, we traveled across or through or to 28 different states. So I'm not sure how many miles, and there's been a couple times where we'll get a call that, there's an issue with a product or something. And we want to firsthand go find out what's going on with it. So we'll jump in the car that night and get childcare for the kids and away we go and don't think twice about it. And then go meet the customer, solve the problem, and then head on back. So it's the miles are high. I don't know.
Yeah. I don't know how many millions of miles, but it sure looked like a lot. You guys got to sell some more Hulk. We got to get some more Hulk so you can get the helicopter. You need the Hulk, the Hulkacopter, the Hulk chopper.
we were talking about just taking our motorhome there and converting it into like a Hulk training center and just
Yeah.
in it.
Wrap it up, baby. Hit the road.
I like it.
That would be fun. It'd be a blast. You guys want to know about what we're doing now?
Yeah, let's hit it.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Let's go,
I know I always pick on Hulk 1 because it's my favorite product in the whole world, but I know you've got other products you want to talk about, so go ahead.
And other products, but first, I think we were going to just update you guys and the community on what to expect from where you'll be able to see us, what our increased visibility is going to be like this year through advertising and really what we're trying to do. Our main goal now that people have trusted us and they're starting to trust us to come on and be dealers and installers is to drive that business, right? So in order to do that, we're really trying to increase the visibility with print and digital media. We are going to be doing some big trade shows. One of them is a close invite trade show called Resilient City. That's more governmental, big commercial, civic contractors, bodies like FEMA, Habitat for Humanity, the armed forces. So it should be some really interesting. And Resilient City, it's all about disaster proofing or disaster mitigation products. So a perfect place for ICF. So we want to have some block there, and we want to have Hulk there and showcase some of the new stuff that we're working on. We're pumping a lot in this year into just improving the website, the SEO, the amount of videos that we have, backlinks, because that's just going to drive traffic to our socials and more importantly, drive traffic to the people on the ground that have trusted us, that have product, and we'll move that product for them, and help them get that solution, that protection into somebody else's hands that needs it. And so we're just devoted to the people that have joined the team, and that's who we work for essentially.
We actually recently just added to the website a dealer map, so you can, and that's one of the perks, I guess, of signing on as Hulk approved installer or dealer, is that once you do that, we put you on our website on a map, and you've got your own little profile page, just so that more people can see where they can get Hulk, and that it's not just available from Canada. Like there's places all over the US that are stocking it regularly, and it's easy for people to get. So it's one of the perks there. And Brandon mentioned Resilient City is one of the trade shows we're attending, but we're also attending and having for the first time a booth at the International Builder Show in Orlando at the end of February there. So we're super excited for that one as well. It's our first time actually having a booth there. So
Well, that little show, you mean the largest building show in the world? Yeah, that one. Oh, that's pretty cool. That's kind of a cool deal.
I just like how she, rather than saying IBS, she said International Builder Show.
I know people don't like saying IBS very much. It's just bad acronym, but no, that's awesome. Congratulations on that, because that's a baller move right there to go in the builder show. So it's like I said, we promote the National Association of Home Builders really big. Heather and I are very active in that, and that's our biggest show of the year. It's our biggest meeting of the year. It's where we pull everybody from all over people come from all over the world to go to that show just to see all the new cool stuff. So it's a very international show. I think it's going to be more international this year because of it being in Florida than it is even when it's in Vegas. It's going to be really, really good for you guys. So I'm excited to see how that goes.
Yeah, we're excited. And then we've got a company from the Caymans that brings in North American building products that can help in the island communities, and waterproofing is a huge thing for them, and they're just blown away by the system. So we'll be meeting them in Hawaii. In Hawaii, I wish in Miami.
I'll do the Hawaii rep. Don't worry, I'll cover Hawaii. I'll do that one.
I was pretty sure Heather volunteered for
Yeah,
that.
Mexico. I'll be the Mexico rep. I don't know if there's any cruise ship reps, but I'll be a cruise ship rep. I'll just I'll sell it on a cruise ship. That'd be great.
Oh, my mom might take you for that one.
She's on like cruise 6 this year.
Nice.
Speaking of which, I don't know if I mentioned this, or maybe I did, but it looks like this year Hulk is going to be going international.
That's awesome.
Within, maybe quarter 3, it's very likely we'll be in the UK. It's possible we're going to be over in even Saudi Arabia.
Wow.
Australia is a market we're looking at. So it's just about where can we toll blend our material, and if we can set up those relationships. So any listeners from outside of the North American ICF community or waterproofing or building supply community, chances are we are going to be coming to you over the next few years. So
that's awesome. Well, we're proud to say we have over 100 countries downloaded now. We've downloaded our podcast in over 100 countries. That's super cool. I know for a fact I've had conversations with our listeners in New Zealand. So hi to our New Zealand listeners. Then I know, we can get some things moving, I think, for you internationally. So please reach out and make sure you tell them that you heard them on the podcast, so then I can get credit and say I told you so, how cool we are. So
we just really want to increase the amount of miles we travel every year. So we thought, what better way than to go international?
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah. Let's just really ramp it up,
We'll have the car parked in a shipping container going across the Atlantic with the products.
I found a missing persons report, but
right.
And then what else are we doing, Nick? We got new products. Maybe I should talk about that. That's a big
touch real quick on the next one that does come up quite a bit is the cementitious product. Explain kind of the cementitious first. You step from acrylic one to the cementitious product, and then you kind of go into some of those other products.
Yeah, so cementitious, much like the acrylic, you can think of it as a coating. It's a coating that you mix with a dry mix component. So you mix it with Portland cement. You get a slurry that you can shoot on with a texture hopper or a stipple hopper. or you can trial it on. You get a sort of coating that is actually waterproof, and you can use the same textile sandwich idea. Put the coating on, immerse the textile, put the coating on. Cementitious is non-combustible, so sometimes we see specs that require non-combustible coating. Or you got an ICF wall that they just want a cement finish. It's a parquet wall. They want it to look like cement with some really good impact resistance. We've got that. It's also got it's got a bit of flex and compression value, so it holds up as the core product in our pool system as well.
Yep.
That's how we would line the walls of an ICF pool. We found that watching a lot of the early products come out, if they were too rigid or too brittle, they could be hard as heck. But if they couldn't flex with that, huge force of that water being applied to that's a lot of compressive force. And then if you drain it, that's a lot going away. So a lot of expansion and contraction, freezing, thawing. If it didn't have that flexibility, you'd get a lot of cracking or tile splitting or early on, especially when you tried to marry a rigid plaster with a cementitious. So the industry's kind of caught up. A lot of the nosing is being done in foam. Our cementitious passes a Global Coatings Academy specification that's available. We can get it to you guys. It's specifically for ICF pools and ICF foam. And I don't think anybody else has met the spec yet.
Cool.
So that it's a cool product. It's also the base product. We wanted it to be easy for that's, again, we're listening to contractors. It's a 1-to-1 mix. We wanted it to be easy to apply. We wanted it versatile. So it's also the base product in our stucco system. You do your brown coat, scotch coat out of that product. You can also use that as the parging if you wanted it to look really like parging and
Right.
have that cement look. Non-combustible material. And then another cool one this year that we got, you're going into winter, a lot of us are working on the insides of the house. There's a lot of the ICF companies produce the in-floor heating insulation, right? The panels that go together. And underneath those panels, there's often some demand before that second pour occurs to have either some hydrostatic pressure, moisture barrier resistance, or radon resistance. Common way of doing a floor. So a lot of guys will do the floor in poly and then put hardwood over it, or laminate or tile or something. But that poly is not going to block hydrostatic pressure. Hydrostatic pressure. I've seen a drinking fountain geyser come through a pinhole in 12-inch concrete if the water table's high, right? And that force is incredible. So what a moisture barrier is it has negative side PSI resistance, meaning that backside, if it has a geyser coming up against it, that water's trying to push through, it won't be able to push through it. And it's below 0.1 perms, meaning gas doesn't pass through it. So it's actually a radon and moisture barrier, which makes it really unique. So that would just go down on a slab inside a home. Extra protection. If you're looking for that and you're looking for a 2-in-1 solution, really easy to put down, really cool product. And then STPE is another one. So this is a roofing coating that we're launching, and it is for roof decks and between either the foam insulation layer under a slab or the metal roof decking itself. It's to coat there and give you that capillary membrane underneath your pour. And then we've developed a coating for that flat roof or sloped roof as well. Either it's a coating to go underneath your metal sheeting if you did a slope pour, or it's a flat roof coating. So that's more waterproofing just on a horizontal plane up on top of the structure. And we're seeing more and more ICF foam insulated roof systems where it gets the pour on top. Well, let's protect that too. Why stop at the foundation? Why stop at the walls? Let's protect the whole structure. And so that, again, that's STPE, and it is. I'll say, if anybody is interested, we'll send out a comparison to all the other roof coatings. This stuff is really new. Not a lot of companies have any kind of this chemical type is pretty well new in the coating realm. It's a hybrid coating, and there's a couple variants out there, but we're really going to be the first ones with a roof coating like this. Styrol terminated polyester. So now you know why I call it STP.
Yeah, that's hard. I wouldn't say that.
But yeah, no, it solves the problem in that it's versatile and that it's good for ponding water. A lot of these coatings that go on roofs, they don't handle ponding water well, or they get slippery. This stuff is UV stable. Dust doesn't like it. It's easy to wash. You get good traction, and it's absolutely waterproof. And the adhesion is unreal on all material types. So, and again, no emissions, no HAPs, no VOCs. Which is, when you're talking about roofing products, a lot of them are pretty toxic. And yeah, I don't know. I mean, I think you had some questions for me.
We do.
Trevor, questions for us?
Yeah, so we have 3 questions that we ask all of our podcast guests. And so the first one is, tell us about one of your most memorable experiences in getting out there in the field with Hulk and ICF, and tell us about that.
There may be a whole episode of this. We could just do a whole episode of Hulk from Brandon and Nikki and From the Road, the memorable experiences episode, an hour-long episode.
Yeah.
I'm not going to use his name, just in case, but he does who he is, and we love him. And he's down near your guys' neck of the woods. And this fella has a small farm of predominantly small animals, actually, like mini everything, mini horse, mini chicken, mini donkey.
Wow.
And he's got and then he's got these hounds.
Not mini dogs.
Yes. He's got these
not many.
these hounds, these 2 hounds, hunting hounds for hunting and trapping bear, that he's like, don't go near them. They are not friendly, and don't make sure they don't get out, because they will kill the animals and they will bite you. And we're like, no problem, not going near these dogs.
Okay.
And then he says, hey guys, do you want to sleep in my trailer that's right beside all the animals?
And we said, yeah, let's do that. Yeah,
sounds like a memorable experience. Yeah, we may need to tell this story on a podcast someday, so let's do it.
We listened to the choir the entire night, to the various animals. We were wondering, why the heck is there just such commotion going on? And so I remember Nikki was just, she's like, I did not sleep at all, and we're packing up to leave his RV, and I walk down the stairs, and I look, and I instantly understand why this commotion is happening, because the dogs have dug under this fence cage, and
they're not there anymore.
They're not there.
Oh,
and I look under the dark trailer, and I just see white teeth, and these are massive teeth, and at crotch level, this is approaching me. And so I'm sliding my bag over.
Don't you worry, I abandoned him. I went right back into that trailer.
You're on your own. Good luck.
I forced that in my face so fast. And so I'm like, okay, good dog. And this dog is not having any of this. And it's coming out of the trailer with the most guttural growl. And fortunately, Vlad has a bigger dog. This dog named, there I go. You threw his name.
That's right. He'll love it. He'll love it.
All right, I'm going to throw your dog's name out there too. It's Thor. And this Thor is the son of a champion fighting dog over in Europe. This thing's head is the size of a horse. It stands about 5 feet tall. It shows up right in time and boof to the hound. Yeah, now this is a little dog. It was a big dog until this dog came over. And just lets out a and that was it. And so I said, Nikki, Thor just kicked the crap out of this dog. You can go get to the car. Well, Nikki shoots out of the trailer so fast, and she just starts running up the hill, Well, our car was right there.
So we had the car originally parked up at the top of their property, but I forgot when we
You moved
decided
it.
to stay there that night, and we brought it down. So I just started running to the front of their house.
Yeah.
Brandon's like,
Yeah, they're 12 pieces of luggage. Yeah, it was and so that is a memory that's given us a lot of good laughs. And
so the memory, like the learning lesson behind that is now when anybody offers and says, "Hey, do you want to stay at our property?" We kindly decline.
Yes,
Yes,
we're a hotel room.
yeah,
Look,
yeah.
we haven't had any massive hounds. Yeah, we don't run into any massive hounds in the hotels that we stay at. So yeah, that's probably a good idea.
That's awesome. I
Oh.
love it.
You guys are in the running for top most memorable experience on the ICF podcast. That's for sure.
Yeah,
So,
you go to teach him how to do a pool lining and do all this stuff, and you get chased by his massive, not mini dogs.
I could see it, dude. I love it. So I'm going to combine this. So usually we've got a 2-part, we usually do this in 2. What are you looking forward to in the future and why Hulk? I think this is probably going to this kind of answers both in some ways, because I think this is kind of the new cool thing that you guys, just the innovation of what you guys are always trying to do and bring a new product to market to make the building system better. But what are you looking forward to in the future of Hulk?
well, to answer what we're looking forward to, I am going to go into the past to talk about the future. So a few years
Back to the
ago,
Future.
one of the very first, I don't even know if I had it called Hulk yet. One of the very first applications of our system was helping to build new housing at a First Nations community far, far in northern Alberta. It's the most remote First Nations reserve in Alberta. And it's only accessible by barge. And so I'm way up in the middle of nowhere. There's wolves, bears, and we're trying to build these communities by barging over all the materials. It was SIP panels. And unfortunately, so we left. We had gotten the houses to a state where they were wrapped. They were all on screw piles. They were wrapped. We did a big daycare as well. The roofing, the under eaves, and the walls in the textile and the waterproofing. And then one of the biggest forest fires in the history of our province hit their community, and it decimated 300 structures. It was the loss of not only property, but just community and people's health, the toll that it took on the people, the attention that it drew to the underfunding of that community, and the inability for the government to had dragged their butts building them a bridge for 10 years. So, I mean, evacuation was that much slower when it's just barge in and out. It was just such a sad situation, but it gave me a little hope that we were going in the right direction when afterwards, and I'll send you a picture of this, Trevor, maybe we can post it,
Yeah.
is
Put it on the show
the
notes.
structure left standing is a Hulk structure. It's
Wow.
Hulk over these magnesium SIP panels. And so that really put in my mind and put in a plan of action a few years back, where I started looking into fireproofing. And much like I thought there had to be a better way to do waterproofing, which there was, it just hadn't. It was more relegated to pipeline wrap. It hadn't moved over to foundations and general construction yet. I've been thinking there's got to be a better way to do fireproofing. This just keeps happening more and more. The rate of fires in California and BC and here is it's on the climb every year, and there's such a hole in the protection that we offer, right now, or that we're able to offer. We're trying our best, and we're making new codes and fire codes, but the materials are, they can't handle that kind of heat. And so when I was talking about non-combustible earlier, and I said that it'll still degrade, at maybe 600, 700 degrees Celsius. Forest fires, house fires burn at, they're hottest on a ceiling at like 1200 degrees Celsius. Forest fires are getting up near 13. So why are we using materials that have less burn thresholds than that in terms of temperature? Well, it's because organics give things flexibility. They give things performance. And they burn quicker. Inorganics like metals and rock, these things are going to burn longer, but they're much more rigid. Ceramic coatings have been around for a long time, but they are used in where they're very fixed, rigid structures. Think of like rocket boosters. They're in mufflers, so in metal. They line kilns. There's ultra high heat coatings that line the metal on molten metal chutes. So you're thinking this is melted metal running across the surface, a coating to prevent the metal behind that coating from heating up. It's essentially lava, right?
Mhm.
And there's a coating that withstands that. Why aren't we using that? Well, it's very rigid. It's very rigid. It's not necessarily cost effective. Well, I'm going to tell you, we found a way, and we always look in other industries to try and find the way. Who's pioneering what? This was in light rail. Light rail found a way to apply these coatings to very high friction, high impact, high vibration surfaces that are on the exterior of these light rail units, and that are able to move and are able to flex, that can take 4,000 degrees,
Wow.
5,000 degrees Fahrenheit. You're well outside the forest fire, and it deflects heat, meaning the heat deflection, the material behind it doesn't heat up. We're early trials with this stuff. We're going to test it, but for all intent and purposes, I think we are going to have near the summer of this year a coating system, much like the waterproofing system, for fire resistance. So then we'll be a lot more well-rounded in terms of, well, not fire resistance, fireproofing. We'll be a lot more well-rounded in terms of offering a more robust disaster proofing solutions, a library that offers waterproofing, wind resistance, flood resistance, and flame resistance. So
That's awesome. I just since you, I mean, and it's just obviously kind of, I've just found out about it here recently, and it's got my head spinning thinking about stuff. I'm sure our listeners are doing the same thing, thinking all the uses, but like, to integrate obviously into ICF, looking at like roof structures, gable ends, because there's a lot of times like people will do, wood gables on an ICF house and worry about that, not being a weak area for fire or something. You could coat that with that. But I mean, stepping out, and I mean, I always say I'm Mr. ICF. I'm going to promote ICF above and everything. But I mean, being realistic and going back to what you started talking about, if you have a heart and you're in the industry and you're in the entire building industry, you have to come to the reality as an ICF guy that we're a long ways from getting 100% of the structures being built. We're functioning at about 10% of the structure, and that people argue with me about that. So 8% or 7 to 8%, whatever. Why not come up with a product that we can do to secure some of these houses that people are building out, that I lovingly like to say building out of firewood, and wrap it in something that will keep that firewood from igniting. So I've seen some of the your videos, mostly of Nikki just having way too much fun with a flamethrower, but she gets way too excited about flamethrowers. But one way to get her to work on time is tell her she's get to play with a flamethrower today. She'll be at the office early, but
it way beats the accounting I used to do full time. So
to go from the accounting world to getting to use a flamethrower is kind of a cool upgrade in jobs. But
I think so.
What you saw there, Trevor. So that is testing the new textile, and so much like fiberglass is sand glass, right? So
Mhm.
It's made from inorganic. This is made from basalt, which is lava rock.
Yeah.
So huge temperature threshold on this stuff, and it took about a year for us to dial this one in. And I had started this project before COVID, and then the Ukraine war struck out. That was where most of the stuff was coming from, and it delayed it. So this has been in the works for a while, but that is about a 1/16 of an inch thick fabric. We took a blowtorch,
A flamethrower.
like a frostbite.
Nikki's flamethrower.
Yeah. And And that thing at that end burns anywhere from 1200 to 2500 degrees.
Yeah.
We put a piece of paper under it and put the flame on top, moved it around on top of the fabric, a 16th inch piece of fabric for a minute. And I put my hand on it. The fabric, it was warm. The underside of the fabric was cool. The paper had not ignited. It was still there. So that piece of paper, needless to say, that fabric is now framed and dated on the Hulk office wall.
Love it.
I'm not. There's a part of the video too where Brandon goes to put his hand on it. I'm like, don't do it! You're gonna break your hand. And
I was a little worried, to be honest. I put my hand on. But no, and that coupled with the coating, I think we can have an ultra thin layer that can stand against a forest fire, a house fire, and protect. What I love about you mentioned it is ICF is one part of the entirety of the structures that we build.
Mhm.
But it's also probably the most challenging from a finishing coating perspective, right? Styrofoam or EPS and XPS foam is not the easiest thing. Wood, there's a lot of coatings been around for a long time to coat wood or siding or drywall. Well, we're only we've only been in it so long where we're starting to use these different types of rigid and structural foam to clad walls.
Yeah.
And so that's been exciting. It's a whole, you can't have solvents in there. You got to have different adhesive properties, different movement properties, different durability ratings and compressive ratings. And so it's the most challenging, but the thing is if you can do it, if you can coat that, your coatings are going to work on anything. Like all of these are transferable over to concrete. All of them are transferable over to wood. All of them are transferable over to, we even have the magnesium board primers and stuff. So get to work with a lot of exciting build materials. But ICF is, always will be, our little corner of the world that we call home.
Mm-hmm.
And we just, the solutions are too good and could be too valuable and help too many people that, we don't want to relegate it there. We want to, if we can help people save lives and structures, let's get it out there to as many people as we can.
100%. And I my word of advice to, other distributors and sales guys of ICF out there is, open your eyes and think outside the box a little bit for your sales, get involved with Hulk and, expand your client reach. You're digging into the ICF world and selling to ICF guys. We currently sell this product to non-ICF guys. So, there's guys that we just haven't tipped into the ICF world, but they definitely still want their basements and foundations waterproofed. And so we're able to sell Hulk to guys that we're not able to sell our core products to. So if you're looking for a product to expand your sales and expand your product lines and things to get outside of the ICF world a little bit, I think Hulk is a great answer for you because it's done wonders for us and continues to just grow and grow and grow. So excited for you guys. We'll get you wrapped up here. We did over an hour. That's pretty good. We were worried. Can we talk about this for that? Oh yeah, we can always talk for over an hour. But
well, Brandon could talk about coatings for 3 days.
Right. We could. Yeah. I don't have a big enough chip in my soundboard to record all of Brandon's knowledge on that, so that wouldn't happen.
Sorry, I have enough chip in my brain to hold all of Brandon's knowledge.
Nikki just kind of shuts off and reboots in the morning.
Yeah, she's like, okay, too much. So. But yeah, we'll get it wrapped up.
Thanks so much for having us back.
No, this is great. I think this is a great follow-up. This is exactly this. These guys, like I said, one of our most downloaded episodes. People, it's probably one of the things I get DM'd about the most is, asking, what waterproofing we use, how we use it, what do we like about it, and different ways to do it and stuff. So this is just educational for everybody. And I think it's good to let people know that, you're adding to the team, you're looking for new members of the team and let's get more people going on it and stuff. And so that's really exciting what direction you guys are headed. So they can, everybody can check you out at hulksystems.com. I'm going to put all these links are going to be in the show notes and stuff, but for you audio people that just want to hear it, we'll put a link to the website. They can reach out to you guys through there. I'll put all that information out there at Hulk Systems on the social media side. You guys got tons of good stuff. Shout out to Shannon. She's always putting up some Poor Shannon, she asks a lot of questions. She's always got questions, she has to ask. But she's like,
Thanks, Trevor, and plugging it. If we can get as many people on that Instagram following us as possible, we try and get a lot of really good little videos on there, and then lots of examples of the product going on and different people using it, different places. So it's a great place to follow the journey.
See how many miles you guys are covering. See all the different places you guys pop up. Where in the world is Nikki kind of stuff. But we can follow that, and just a great way to. You guys have done a good job of really bringing on the videos and posting specific things about certain questions people have about Hulk and what it is. So really good stuff. And you guys did a great job, World of Concrete. You guys put together a lot of quick questions about even other products and stuff out there. So you guys do kind of share the love with everybody on your IG, and that's good. So we appreciate that. And thinking if there's anything.
No, we'll put in there where you guys are going to be at Builder Show too.
Yeah, we'll get your booth number, we'll get all that stuff, and we'll throw that on there for you guys, so everybody can look you guys up there when they get there. And then, but same with us as always. Build with ICF.
Info at Build with ICF if you want to email us.
Yep, and we appreciate it, man. It's like I said, I always say this, and I continue to appreciate it more and more because I get mind blown it seems like every week. We're getting more and more people reaching out and stuff. And so it's just super cool that we got the listener base that we do. We really appreciate everybody and share it, share it with everybody, share our Instagram, share our, we want to build this thing up as much as we can and get everybody as much information as we can. So, please do that. I'm excited. My voice made it through the whole thing.
It did. Good job.
I'm battling strep. So Heather's getting as far away from me as she can, so I've had strep.
Oh, and we get to come see it next week.
Yeah.
He'll be fine by then.
All the amoxicillin will have run through my body by then. I'll be done and coursing through my veins, and it's a couple days flat on my back, a couple days with the. By the end of the day, I don't have a voice, but we're battling through it. So no, I appreciate everybody that reaches out and continue to give us suggestions and stuff of what you guys want to hear about. Most of what we're doing is honestly a lot of people saying, hey, have you talked to, or hey, can you bring them on? So it is our slow season. So we're getting to that point where we can do some more recording. And so we're going to get a few more people on and some new episodes coming out. We'll try to get caught up here towards the end of the year on some stuff. And we are going to do another episode on how to get the most out of World of Concrete and Builder Show, just for some of the newbies that are going to be new going there. So, I think that's about it.
I think so.
Okay. Well, Brandon, Nikki, thank you guys so much for coming on again. And like I said, this will be another hot episode for us, and we'll get everybody getting on the Hulk team and get some more Hulksters out there.
Yeah.
Hey, if we're ever lucky enough for a follow-up 3, we'll tell you about all the haunted hotels we stay in.
All right.
We might just have just an episode on the travels of Brandon and Nikki. This might be its own little episode. I think we've got plenty of stuff, so that might be fun. So if the listeners want to hear that, let's hear for it. You guys can vote for it now. Tell us if you want to hear that, and we'll get another episode going. So anyways, all right, guys, we're going to go ahead and wrap her up here, and we appreciate everybody out there, and continue to hit us up with any questions or anything we can help you with.
And until next time.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks.